Hi, today is Saturday and today's a good day. Story time. Um, I was on a meeting recently with a few organizations, and there was this organization talking about how they service people with TBIs, children and young adults. And I was so excited because, and I mean, all ranges of TBIs. And I experienced a TBI as a child. I was hit in the head with a rock. And prior to that, it seems like I was a pretty happy kid, like really loving and just hugging and just free. Um, but after that experience, or I can't walk you down the experience, but in the experience, it taught me something. It taught me um, what people are willing to do um, in the midst of certain things. So the experience was like my cousins and I, we were playing. Of course, we were playing with rocks. We were in Mississippi, and I got hit in the head with a rock. And it's crazy how now that I'm talking about it, the scar doesn't seem as big. But for years, this scar has been like, like here, and now it's just like, But nonetheless, like, I remember the impact. I remember the just seeing blood just flowing from my head and just like looking at it, almost like speechless. And I remember the look on my brother's face when he ran inside to get my mom. My brother's 6.5 years older than me. So I could see like the fear, the panic, and not knowing what to do. When my mom came out, I remember like the fear, the grief on her face. I remember like her words being like stern, like she just went into motion on like what to do. She got me in the car. We live 30 minutes away from the hospital, and we get there. I can see how like the doctors and nurses were handling. I was gonna say handle, but yeah, they were handling my mother, not like with care, but and mind you, this the 80s, so it was like she was a nuisance almost. And they didn't give me an IV or anything to prep me. I just remember seeing the needle, like, and I couldn't really talk for some, like it had stripped my voice, my hearing. I, I could see, but it was almost like an out of body experience. I could see the needle like coming towards my head, and I remember screaming like this loud, piercing sound, and my leg shot straight up in the air. I remember my mom's hand slipping on me, but after that, I wasn't speaking. I remember like just being different. I remember kind of like being inside my head for a while. I wasn't the same. I wasn't able to read the same and things like that. But and after that, I had to move differently to get my needs met. I began to feel everything around me, how I was treated and things like that, and what people said, and whether their behavior matched their words. It was a little bit confusing to me. I remember just almost like not being fully there. Like I was there, but not there. Like something wasn't there, but I was there. And as I got older, I remember basically having to relearn and adjust and just, I was different. I was forever changed. But I also noticed that I became a people pleaser after that. I became a person that will do anything to get my needs met. And and I also saw the people that will use the knowledge that I would, if that makes sense. And I didn't realize what was happening until maybe like my 30s, where I was actually just still behaving in that way that was bringing along those same type of people, those same types of traumas. So I'm on this call, I'm listening to, and I'm just like, oh my God, I've been around people. These organizations say that they are, like they do all these things for people with specific disabilities and all that. Um, but the way I was being treated, and this is present day, the way I was being treated did not display that this person or these people actually have my back, actually have the tools to provide resources for me in this moment, someone who has experienced that. And if I needed them, would they be able to stand in the gap and show me a different way of living? Not at all. You know, in the disability community, we say nothing about us without us. Then why do we accept people just because they have a title? Why do we accept their behavior? Just because they say they're providing us with resources and they're providing us with this and that, but provide me with the empowerment and as well as my family without misusing me because I need you or you feel like I need you. You know, some people can only love you when they need you. Well, let me rephrase that. Some people can only love you when you need them. But when you show them that you do not need them and that you've used your experiences for the betterment of yourself as well as everyone connected to you, and then you'll see how they behave after that. When you really love yourself and you begin to see the actions of those around you from what that love looks like, that's a tell sign whether this organization deserves what it's getting. Does this organization that says they are representing you actually represent you? And if it doesn't, what are you doing about it? Because I'm going to tell you that they are hurting the people within the community for their own personal gain. And sometimes those that's around are trying and they can't do anything about it because they don't have enough support. It's hard to support people that's fighting for their limitations because the fight becomes difficult because the people that are actually standing in the gap are taking all of the hits. They get a hit from those that say you can do better without understanding because there's an assumption. Then they get a hit from those who say, well, I do have a disability. Yeah, you do have a disability, but you also have an ability. And what is that? You're either going to fight for your limitations or you're going to empower yourself to fight to live. Because it's either you're here on purpose or you're just existing. You have two choices. Choose wisely. Choose wisely. Because those that are actually standing in the gap on your behalf, they are getting abused. And I am one of them. I am Esther Shante. And I've endured a lot of abuse from those who said that they were here for people with disabilities. And I refuse to remain silent about it. So, thank you. And I appreciate you for showing me so many times over and over and over again your idea of what I'm worth. Because I am worth so much more than you can even imagine. And so are you.